The sad truth of the matter is consistency is super freaking hard, and it's even harder when you're traveling and you don't have access to the things that help your consistency. Flexibility and adaptability are necessary, 1000% when it comes to consistency, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people struggle with it. Not every day you wake up in the same place. Maybe you go to work in a different place, maybe you travel, maybe you work different schedules. If you don't have flexibility, and if you don't have adaptability, it's going to be close to impossible for you to stay consistent.
I'm currently reading 2 books right now. One of them is called Willpower. The other one is called Willpower Doesn't Work. Why would I do that? Because on one hand, you can develop willpower and discipline when you practice it. On the other hand, you can't rely on it, especially after the tail end of the day when you don't want to go to the gym. But it's really important to stay consistent and keep the small promises you make to yourself. So you need to have self-discipline and willpower on one hand, but you also have to design your environment on the other to make sure that it supports your goals and dreams.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 2007, one reason people aren't as consistent as they want to be. As you heard in the open there, we are talking about flexibility and adaptability. So Alan, I think we co-created, but I think you kind of led the charge on it. There's the consistency star. Amy loves it. It's like her favorite asset to use when she's doing the group coaching calls. And one of the things on there that I think would probably get overlooked a lot, definitely by me in the past, is adaptability and what I kind of label it flexibility. And I think back to when I used to travel a lot for work, it was way harder to stay consistent in the gym because I didn't have any of the normal stuff. I wasn't in a place where I knew what the gym was like. I didn't know the hours of the gym. I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know if you could bring bags in or not. I mean, there was a lot of kind of pain in the butt to get to the gym. Now, one way to fix that was have a Anytime Fitness membership. So you can look it up. It's easy. You know your key fob will get you into almost any gym. But most of the people I worked with, they had like an on-off switch. When they were home, they would eat well and they would exercise. But when they were on the road, all of that went to shit. And it's because there wasn't a level of adaptability and there wasn't a level of flexibility. And I said this to you before we did the episode. I said, I feel like that's kind of a common thing. It's either you're all on or you're all off. And there's something to that. I mean, maybe that would be there's only 5 points of the star for the consistency star, but having an all or nothing mentality, I think, is a really dangerous thing to have if you're trying to be more consistent. I went to some gyms that sucked and it was like, well, this workout's better than nothing. I went to some really nice gyms too, but you never know. And I never knew what I was going to get until I showed up. So I think that's an important thing to talk about when it comes to consistency.
What's your mentality when it comes to this? Because I've talked about this in the past. We all have a dominant question. And one of my questions that I'm asking myself consistently, I talk about it often, is what's the most valuable use of my time right now? Some days are good, some days not so good in comparison. And I'll look at my calendar and I'll say, okay, there's 3 or 4 things on there. It's like, wow, that was kind of a slow day. I didn't put a ton on the court today. But then I think to myself and I go, well, that's 4 times as much as I used to do 10 years ago. The other piece of this too is consistency at this stage for you and I comes so naturally. I feel like it's challenging for me to understand what it used to be like. You and I used to talk about the 5-second rule. I talked about this on a recent episode. There was a podcast host that had researched a lot. I always love when they research a lot. I really appreciate it. And they said, oh, so you guys are super disciplined and super consistent. That's what you guys stand for. And I remember thinking, okay, sure, I guess. But I don't know why that is necessarily. I don't feel like, it's not like we just woke up and we're suddenly super consistent. And I also thought about this recently too. That's step 1, kind of.
Yeah. In
business in particular, again. So Kevin and I are leaning into what is your own unique version of success, health, wealth, and love, and how do you improve yourself to achieve those goals and dreams? and at NLU, but also in our own life. And I'm looking at the consistency star right here that you had mentioned. The first one is self-belief. The second one is humility. The third one is sustainability. The fourth is adaptability. The fifth one is grit. And when you say adaptability, flexibility, that's actually one of my clients' most important skills for this quarter. And she's been way more consistent ever since that was the case, because we looked at this consistency star and it was like, okay, which one of these do you struggle with most? At first it was humility. We worked on that. And then it was adaptability. What does adaptability even mean? It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done.
The ability to adapt in circumstances that are not ideal, I think, is probably the best course. I honestly think fitness is a huge reason why. I remember I have a picture on my Instagram somewhere. I remember we were working I was either working in Virginia or New Jersey. So it was either like 6 hours away from home or 12 hours, I think. I was eating my rice with a chicken tender because I didn't have a spoon.
Yeah, that's adaptability.
That's
right there.
adaptability. I had to get my food because, number one, I was super hungry. I'm doing a speech today, if you're listening to this, on consistency.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I told Alan, I said, I stole all your stuff, and I'm not going to credit you for any of it. My goal is to deliver it better than you ever have, and then take full credit for it.
Perfect.
But essentially, so it's one of our clients, shout out to Aaron. He said, hey, I have a men's group, and every month we have a topic. And I mean, you are obviously super consistent. I'd love to have you talk about consistency. What do you think? And I said, yeah, I'll send you an audio of what I'm thinking. I'll do like a Canva presentation. If it's aligned, let me know, but I'll send it over to you so you can hear the ideas. And I was like, all right, well, I don't know. I think the thing that would probably make the most sense is to start at the identity level of why isn't the person consistent in the first place? Like, all right, that sounds good, cool. So we'll talk about that.
Do you identify as consistent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is helpful. Right?
Yeah.
That identity piece. It's hard to. Yes. I definitely feel. I feel like a very, very consistent human. Yeah. But that's been the main thing over the last 8 years.
Was there ever a time you didn't identify it that way?
Not with fitness, but definitely with, most other stuff. I remember when I took my test to be a personal trainer when I was in my early 20s. I could not, for the life of me, consistently study.
Yeah, brutal.
I had to wait until I was like 2 weeks out and then cram. The necessity wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
The deadline was too far away, and it didn't give me enough necessity. So the first one is going to be like identity, deeper stuff. Why aren't you consistent in the first place? Second one is sustainability, consistency, improvement. And then I'm going to go into sustainability. What are the three most important things for that? Consistency. What are the three most important things for that? Improvement. What are the three most important things for that? And then each of those will have its own kind of segment. And there's a couple other
How long is the
ones.
speech?
An hour.
Nice.
So I'm trying to pack as much in as I can. But there's a lot to consistency.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to it. And if you're out there and you feel like you're struggling with consistency, it could be for a bunch of different reasons. It might not be because you don't want the goal. It might be because maybe you work from home 3 days a week and you're at home the other two, and you feel like you just crush it every time you work from home, but when you go to the office, you can't figure out why you feel like you suck. That's probably why there's got to be a new level of adaptability.
One of the things that comes up is what's top of mind for you. So when Emilia, my family, and her family get together, we all spent Thanksgiving together for a week. I could tell that fitness was top of mind for me more than everyone else. And Emilia, prior to the trip down in South Carolina, she and I always outline what is most important for you on this trip. I think ours was getting good sleep was number one, because we usually don't when we travel. Number two was fitness. That was my main one. It's like, I do not want to miss exercise. I want to actually weight train. One time when we traveled, we were literally lifting with bags of groceries. And I was like, I sat down with Emilia. I said, sweetheart, I can't do this. I can't go from a fitness competitor to fucking lifting grocery bags. Like, this is not weight training for me. Like, this does not check the box for me. We still exercise, Good for us. I mean, we were doing gallons of water and that kind of thing, but come on, what are we doing here? So we cannot miss the gym. I need a gym that has weights in it. I'm not doing body weight bullshit. And again, please don't, for anyone else who's doing body weight, please don't be offended. I need a gym. Okay. But anyway, so number 2 was fitness. Number 3 was quality time with family. In that order, Emilia and I have a 3-year exercise streak. And my number 1 priority was don't break that. Her number 1 priority was get good sleep. And then after that, we had quality time. But with the family, my family and her family, quality time is their number 1, 2, and 3. Going on the boat, we saw a dolphin. I mean, it was awesome. But we literally had to go find a Planet Fitness. It was actually a really nice one. This place was sweet. Because I wasn't sure. I looked it up and I did the virtual tour. It was really good. We're going there next time for sure. And she also got a tech center to make sure we could be consistent on work. But again, all of this is adaptability. So planning before the trip, because when you travel, we have a travel checklist of certain things we bring. We bring our Alexa for certain music while we sleep. We have a whole iCloud note of everything that needs to be brought. That's why we liked driving down there, because we could bring our sort of home on wheels. And but ultimately it's because, going back to the top of mind thing, when you and I travel, there's 2 things that are at the top of Kevin's mind at all times. Number 1 is where's the gym? Mm-hmm. Number 2 is where's the food?
Very quickly, very close number 2.
Yeah,
for sure.
And for me, the only difference is number 1 is what do we have to get done today? Number 2, well, you have that too. It's like, what's the minimum thing that we have to get done no matter what for the business? Number 2 is where's the gym? And when are we going to weight train? And number 3 is what are we eating for tonight for dinner? For me, it's what needs to happen for the mission. Number 2, where's the gym? And number 3 is what movie are we watching while we eat?
It was all the Meet the Parents last time you and I were together.
That was awesome.
But you know, that's the hard thing. It's super hard to have a morning routine in a place that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, brutal.
You don't have a yoga mat? All right, cool. Let me get down on my hands and knees on this stranger's floor.
You remember that motel? Was that Motel 6 that we went to? I fell asleep because we were cooked on the road. I was like, dude, I can't.
It was in California.
I have to go to bed. I can't.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
I don't think I slept. I don't think I had the benefit of sleeping. But that's what's super hard. It's super hard to be consistent on the road. Anytime there's uncertainty, you realize very quickly how many of your habits are just not unconscious yet.
Yep.
I went to the doctor so I could get some cream for my face. So hopefully my little rash over here is going away.
Gotten better. It has gotten
It's because
better.
I got some cream to put on it, and I was sitting in the waiting room. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, needed it. I was sitting in the waiting room, and we've been tracking our minutes, which has been a pain in the ass, but also really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's really why. I mean, it's not great to work from my phone. Certain things are great. But Google Sheets, that's a whole freaking thing. But I was thinking how much I've gotten better at being able to work from anywhere. I mean, when I was in Scotland, I was working in a little cabin in the middle of nowhere. I still got up before Taryn, and I did my thing.
You do hotspot, or they had internet?
I did hotspot in one place, and one place had internet. The hotspot was brutal. But I didn't work out when I was in Scotland. I didn't work out once because we were driving. It's like, okay, we're going to be in this town for 12 hours. We're just sleeping there. And then we're going to get up at 5 o'clock and we're going to drive 7 hours. It's like, I don't know. Is it really worth it for me to do it? But I told Taryn, I said, next time we travel, I'm going to figure out some sort of way to exercise. And I don't want to be driving all over the place again. It was awesome, but it was tiring.
In the opening, I talked about the 2 books I'm reading, which is fascinating when you hear the titles. One of them is called Willpower. Kevin's reading it as well. And the other one's called Willpower Doesn't Work by Benjamin Hardy. And one of them is about how to build willpower through self-discipline and how you can grow it over time. You can. There's a certain part of the brain that develops when you keep promises to yourself, especially when there's resistance. However, it does drain. It's like the phone battery. Imagine iPhone battery, or a phone battery, Android or iPhone, that it still drains throughout the day and you still have to charge it at night when you sleep. However, the battery gets better each day instead of worse over time. That's willpower. Okay, great. And that's necessary, especially when you travel. But the other, willpower doesn't work. Benjamin Hardy, his thesis of the book is, listen, willpower is a thing and you have to develop it. But if you're relying entirely on that and not environmental design, you are fucked. And when Emilia and I travel, this house, and I owe it to her way more. I actually, when I was reading this book, I told her, I said, sweetheart, thank you so much. Like, she has set this house up so incredibly well. I mean, our offices, our kitchen, our air fryer, everything is set up for success.
I love how you have four things: offices, kitchen, air fryer. The fucking air fryer is on that list.
You know it. Our shades open and close themselves, automated. It's her, not me. She calls herself the automation queen playfully, but it's true. And everything is set up to help us make positive choices. That's it. Everything in our life is set up to make positive choices. We playfully joked about giving Kevin our 83-inch TV because she doesn't want the TV in the bedroom. Kev's still like...
Yeah, how has that progressed?
It's progressed well. We'll talk about it.
I don't believe
So
it.
I said that last time too. But we have... Everything is so well set up to make sure that we make our bad habits hard to do and our good habits easy to do. Something as simple as I asked her, I said, can you please remind me when we sit down to eat dinner to eat my salad first? Dude, if I don't eat my salad first, I'm not eating it. I just won't. I'll fill up on everything else. I've been in a bulk, so just eat as much as possible, basically. Seriously, it's been great. But the salad just won't get eaten.
Makes sense.
But if I eat my salad first, that whole thing goes down. And so she just gives me that little reminder, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'll put this down. Put this down first. I'm not a huge fan. I don't care for them. I'm happy to do it. I think it's for the nutrition, but I'm not a big salad guy.
It's different when you're dieting. When you're dieting, you eat the salad first anyway because it kind of then seems like it fills you up before the real meal.
100%. But when you're bulking, the last thing you want to do is eat a
don't
bunch
need
of salad and then get full too
volume.
quickly and not hit your calories. So, but if your environment is set up for success and you're building willpower over time, I mean, your life is just going to be so much better. But one thing I want to make as clear as possible is I've never met anyone, all the clients I've coached over the years, who isn't inconsistent in some things. So right now, Kevin and I, we're very consistent, and we could probably name 5 things, but we're both very inconsistent in something. For me, it's mobility.
I could name 10
just
things
do not
I'm
do
not.
it.
Yeah, I could name 10 things I'm not very consistent in.
What's the biggest one? For me, it's mobility for sure.
I haven't dreamlined since I've gotten it. I think maybe two or 3 times. It's a decision. So it's not like I'm getting to the end of the day and saying, oh shit, I missed it again. It's kind of a decision of like, today, these are the things I have to do to survive, and that's what I'm going to do. But
yeah, I'm not hitting it every day yet either. I'm probably 1 every 3.
Yeah. So I think that's an important thing too, is people tend to only highlight what they're really consistent at. People don't really talk about what they're messing up, especially if they're trying to help you be more consistent, because it kind of seems like a cred hit, but nobody is consistent to Alan's point with everything.
Yeah, no one. There's
Tara
not
and
a
I
single client who isn't inconsistent on something. 100%.
No,
Go ahead.
we've been Jeffing our check-ins. We did a check-in Sunday for the first time in a minute. A minute. She said, hey, can we do a check-in this Sunday? And I said, oh, fuck. Oh, no. I said, am I in trouble? She said, no, we haven't done one. I said, yeah, no, that's on me. I said I would lead the charge, and Sundays come, and I just want to snug and watch a movie. Next Level Nation, we are very, very excited to announce that we are doing our first purely virtual Next Level Live on April 5th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alan and myself will be live streaming from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Next Level Live 2025. Be there. It's only $47 for a full day of personal development, self-improvement, holistic health, wealth, life, and love.
We have a global audience. Obviously, if you live somewhere else in the world, it's hard to come across the country or across the world for a one-day event, so we wanted to make sure it was accessible to everyone.
You're not going to get to the next level of your life by default. You're going to get there by design. Join us, design that next level. That's one of the things we track every week. 69 weeks in a row.
Strong work.
Yeah. Well, again, they used to be pretty in depth. Now it's the permission question, and that's it. That's for another episode. But
it's sustainable, right? Yeah,
we started doing. Yeah, we won't get into it. But okay, last piece for me. The thing that I want to make as clear as possible is your goals and core values should be determining what you choose to be consistent at. If it's not aligned with a goal and it's not aligned with a core value, the chances of you being consistent at it are very, very, very slim. Yeah. Seriously. So the reason why I have to force, for lack of better phrasing, myself to eat my salad is because I don't care. I don't like salad. I'd much rather eat whatever else I'm eating. But my goals require me to do it, because if I don't get enough micronutrients, I'm not going to be at my best and I'm going to perform worse. And you can only eat macros only for so long before you start feeling like shit in the gym. It starts hurting your performance. It starts hurting your sleep, all that stuff. So I'm not eating salads because I like salad. And I think that there's a reframe around that. And again, the success piece. One of the things that in coaching can be frustrating at times is people will say, well, I don't really like salad. It's like, well, neither do I. Right? And they're like, well, in order to achieve your goals, you're not going to like everything. Like, I don't know where people got that. Like, well, I don't really like that.
It's a desire thing. Alan said this. I said something yesterday. He's like, I don't care if you like it. And it wasn't in a bad way. It was a funny way.
Yeah. Can we go into that?
It's how you boss me around.
No.
We could if you want. Yeah, you want to talk openly about it, we could. No, I feel comfortable.
Of course you do. You said something earlier, too. It's like, I like to present something that's all yours, give you none of the credit. And I realized you and I both didn't laugh. New listeners might think you're serious.
I am. New listeners would be right. No. Yeah, Alan and I spent a lot of time virtually together, so we joke about almost everything at this point. What were you asked me a question? Did you say something?
The top of mind thing. What are the things that are top of mind? And
that's not what we were talking about.
I know. I'm gonna transition.
I thought you forgot.
So for me, I'm consciously not doing the Dreamliner every day because we have an event coming up in 21 days. I'm more focused on other things. I have clients, all this stuff. So it's not like I'm inconsistent. I'm inconsistent at certain things that I'm choosing to be inconsistent on, but that's based on my goals.
Question.
Yeah.
1 minute answer too. Don't you go off on a freaking tangent.
There's a fly freaking out in my office right now, or maybe a bee, and I just looked straight at that light.
I hope it's not a bee. You got your AirPods on? Give your AirPods to the fly. Let them tune them in.
I don't have any problem with bees, man. If it was a bee, that wouldn't bother me at all.
Until it stings you on your forehead.
Nah, man.
You ever been stung by a bee?
Of course I have.
Worst pain. Maybe the worst pain.
No, it is not.
It is.
It is not.
What is worse than that?
I've seen you in a lot of pain. Way worse than a bee sting.
When I was in middle school, there was a kid named T. Jakes.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to take thumbtacks and stick them into our arms. And you could hear the skin pop when it went through. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, what the hell was wrong with us? Why were we doing that?
I hope you have your tetanus shots, you know?
I do. Yeah, I'm up to date.
Nice.
I was going to say something. Oh, under 1 minute, now that I've taken up all the time. How would you suggest, or what advice would you give to somebody who is struggling with that piece? Letting go of something that you want to be consistent at, but you're kind of sacrificing that to be consistent in something more valuable for your goals.
Oh, I hate it too. My advice is have the courage to let go of being good at everything so that you can be great at the most important things. And that's why I recommend the book Essentialism for people. It helps people give themselves permission to not have to be perfect at everything. So Emilia cares a lot about making the bed in the morning. Like, she loves making the bed in the morning. She can't stand when the bed isn't made. I could give a fuck. right? The dishes, she really likes them not in the sink. I don't really care, but there's certain things in fitness that need to happen for me. So the before and after the gym, no phone calls. Like, we're not calling people before and after the gym, like certain things like that. So we have to integrate core values and goals. So the 1 minute end of my answer here is, it sucks. I know it sucks. I think it takes courage to say, I'm going to give up these good habits to go for these really great goals. And I think that it also takes humility to admit that you're human and that you can't do everything at level 10.
It is tough. Oftentimes, I think the thing that helps me, but this also can be a negative thing if you focus on it too much, is the Dreamliner isn't really like a now thing. It's like a forever thing. So if I don't do the Dreamliner for a week, I'm probably not going to notice. And I might, when I start back up, I might be like, yeah, okay, I could tell I was missing this. But there are certain things that have to get done now, and if they don't get done, things will break.
Mm-hmm.
The Dreamliner just isn't one of those right now. So that's always helped me, is just the understanding of everything matters. Not everything matters the same, and not everything matters at the same time, to the same degree.
What was I going to say earlier? Damn.
Big Chungus. That's a big Chungus move.
Yeah, I guess the wrap up would be, you don't have to. Yeah, goals require certain things that you're not going to want to do. And I will say this so that everyone knows, I have some of the most consistent and disciplined clients of people I have ever met in my life. Some are 3 times a week and they never miss, and they all track habits. None of them are consistent at everything. None of them. And that hopefully gives everyone permission to, you know what they are consistent at? The things that are aligned with their goals and core values. So give yourself the permission to be consistent at the 10 out of 10 things. And what's an example? Ramwad. It's not optimal for me to not do mobility. Ramwad is an app that videos long-form stretching. That's terrible for me. Long-term, that's a jeffing. That's an L. Emilia and I, we're not getting any younger, okay? We are talking about it often. Like, we got to find a way. We got to find a way to do mobility more. She knows it and I know it. Okay, we're going to have to give something else up. Okay, what are we going to give up? Nothing right
pancakes.
Now. I haven't been doing that ever since I started cutting, yeah. I had to can out the morning pancakes. I had to.
Well, I didn't even know you were. When are we going to do the 10-pound to 10-week challenge?
No, man.
I don't want to do it?
No.
What? I've been hinging on this.
Maybe like after Next Level Live, after Group 18, after some stuff.
So after
not right now.
Next year?
Fucking chance right now.
I'm going to bring it. I might bring it myself.
I
If
respect
that's okay
it if
with
you
you.
do. Of
Okay.
course it is. Absolutely, brother. I did 53 podcasts, coaching sessions, and trainings last week. I am not dieting
I understand.
a pound a week right now because I want to focus on coaching, training, podcasting, my relationship, and then I'm going to do mobility at some point.
You have another podcast to do as well. You're gonna do the other. You're
Yes.
gonna do Business Growth U. Maybe it won't be 10 pounds in 10 weeks. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet. I don't know if I want to sign myself up for a pound a week either. Honestly, I think it sounds
10
cool.
pounds in 10 weeks is so cool.
I know, but there's an ego play for me there of like,
If you wait till summer, I'll do it with you.
it's summer. I want to be very jacked by summer. I mean, it's already It's the middle of
What are you
March.
optimizing for, July 4th?
No,
what people
I
tend
don't
to
do
do.
things. I'm not doing things. I don't think with anybody or things. Actually, no.
What are you
this year,
optimizing for?
I guess I'm optimizing for July.
April, May, June.
It's already April almost. May, June. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
All right, let me think on it because you don't have to do it if you don't want, obviously. I'll think on it and then we can announce it, whatever we decide. This would be my next level
10
lesson.
pounds in 52 weeks.
That's
Thoughts?
perfect. Yeah, nice and easy. Nice and easy. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, I believe is a saying. The 6 Ps. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. The 6 Ps.
Nice.
When it comes to adaptability, I think that's one of the things to focus on. If you know you're in for uncertainty, create as much certainty as possible. If I have I don't as much because I don't really go anywhere anymore, but have a travel water bottle. Cool. Let me fill that up and bring it with me just in case. My gym stuff is always in my car. I have my knee sleeves in the back. My belt is in the back. My wrist wraps are in the back. My boxing gloves are in my trunk. I have all of my stuff in my car at all times. My elbow sleeves, everything is in there in case I go somewhere and then I want to hit the gym on the way home or whatever it is. There's always we can try to inject some level of certainty into uncertainty to the best of our ability. That would be my next level lesson.
Mine would be keep things as simple as you possibly can because complexity destroys consistency. Number 2 would be Emilia and I, we have certain rules, self-rules. No one else is telling us we have to do this, but we have certain rules in our relationship where her and I don't go out without having my Zen book and her MacBook. Like, in case we have to charge the Tesla, then we make sure that we can get something done. We have certain rules. My bag is always work ready and gym ready, always. And I never leave without it because there have been too many times where it's like, we could have ended up hitting that gym. We could have ended up doing, pivot. Okay, her parents. You got to prepare, to your point, for being adaptable. And I always have my knee sleeves in my bag. I always have my wrist straps in my bag, that kind of thing. My bag, one journal, one Zen book, one phone. I think a lot of people have 10 journals and 3 computers and a bunch of different types of AirPods and a bunch of. I try my best to have one of everything, and I try to make sure that I'm always fitness ready, work ready, relationship ready.
Do you know the 6 Ps? You want to say them? You want to rattle them off real quick?
I've never heard that before in my life.
What do you live under a fucking rock?
For sure.
That's like the bumper sticker of all bumper sticker things. Prior preparation
I don't think I could.
Prevents piss poor performance. It's
Say
good.
it one more time.
Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Nice.
It's
a good one.
Yeah, it's true. I would say it's accurate.
It helps. It helps. And again, at some point, some days you just have to say, all right, screw it. I'm going to do it. Right? That's a big piece of it too, but that's not the point.
If you need
that
everything to be
today.
Perfect to be consistent, you'll never be consistent.
It's going to be trouble times at the OK Corral.
Yeah, Emilia and I, 3 years of consistent exercise. I mean, it has been sometimes just walking in the freezing cold wind outside of a terrible hotel that we thought was going to be nice. We call it the Chateau in New Hampshire, where Kevin lives.
A gleaming. First of all, don't associate that to my homeland. First of all,
it's near the Chugga Highway thing.
Kangamangas,
that one.
Yeah.
And it was terrible, but we got it done.
Well, and this podcast is a really good example of that. Right? We never record when we want to. Almost never. It never happens. We were supposed to record 3 episodes tonight. We're going to do 2, and 1 will get done on Saturday, and boom, now we've survived another week. And then next week we can figure out how we're going to do it again. A lot of adaptability. Definitely something I'm working on because I haven't always had that when it comes to business stuff, but I'm really trying to work on that. So, all right, Next Level Nation, if you want to attend our live event on April 5th, 2025, Next Level Live 2025, we will have the link in the show notes below. It is a full-day event. But if you can't stay for the whole time, with your ticket purchase, you will get access to the replay. So if you come for a couple hours, awesome. You can watch the rest of the replay. No matter what, you'll be able to consume the content. We're only taking 50 people, and we're only selling 50 tickets because we want to make sure this is a really high-quality group of people. Not saying you're not, but we want to make sure that the breakout sessions are really good. It's just a good showing of next-level people. That's the goal. And We've done things in the past where we wanted to get as many people there as possible, and it just didn't work as well. And it wasn't as aligned. So doing it a little different this time.
Kev is green group, green team. Amy is yellow team. Brandon is red team. I am blue team, and Christina will be orange team. So we are, again, 5 groups, 10 people. If you're a business owner, you're going to end up on my team. You're a podcaster, probably Kevin's. And again, there'll be some exceptions where we're doing it based on what we know of you and all that kind of stuff. Sign up, register, $47. And the thing that needs to be said is, I know it's a Saturday. I know a lot of people have a lot of stuff going on. If you have to pop in and out, we're not going to be offended. Okay? So sign up as soon as possible. The tickets are selling like crazy, and we are filling it up as soon as possible.
Like hotcakes.
Well,
one of these days we'll do an event on a weekday, maybe. What do you think?
I hate it.
Never mind.
But we'll see.
You didn't hear it. We're not doing it, evidently.
I think it's important to do it on a Saturday because a lot of people work. A lot of people are working.
Yeah, but also a lot of people are binge drinking on Saturdays.
A lot of Next Level listeners, you think, are binge drinking
you
on
guys
Saturday?
probably. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. I like a whiskey amongst friends as well.
Yeah.
I don't binge drink them often.
You remember when we had that person come wasted to one of our events?
Yes. They asked great questions though. They were into it.
Nice.
Yeah, no, they were into it. I was actually surprised because I remember when we first saw them stumble in, we were like, this is definitely going to be like a massive issue, right? Like there's no possibility that this could go positively. It actually went pretty well.
Nice.
So, yeah, you never know. All right. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. At NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.